The DCEU has been in a state of disaster because of all of the Ezra Miller drama, plus people trashing Warner Brothers for mediocre movies releasing. But the new leadership at the company is already taking things in a very different direction that fans are very happy about because audiences are loving Black Adam even though critics are trashing it, just proving how irrelevant and out of touch they are. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So let's start with the Bounding into Comics article. It says legacy media critics trash Black Adam yet face no accusations of being ists or review bombing. Now, if someone like me came out and said, oh, I don't like Black Adam, I would be labeled these things. My action would be viewed as review bombing, trying to bury this movie. But of course, when legacy media is doing it, there's absolutely no problems. It says, in a continuation of Warner Brothers' Discovery particularly rough year, their last tentpole release of 2022, Black Adam, has been met with near universal panning from legacy media critics, and curiously, none of them have been decried as ists or had their actions described as review bombing for disliking a film with a non-white lead. It says, since awakening from his slumber on October 21st, The Rock Johnson's passion project has, as of writing, amassed one of the worst critic scores of the year, as calculated by twin review aggregate sites Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. If we look at Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is currently sitting at a 39% from critics, which of course is just a terrible score. Now, when I initially saw that the scores were low before the movie released, I was really worried. Usually, critics and audiences do not agree. If the critic score is low, user score is high. If the audience score is low, the critic score is high and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's at a 39%, which is awful, but a 90% audience score, which is fantastic. Going back to the article, though, it says on the former, the Justice Society of America starring feature currently holds a 41 out of 100 score based on 50 reviews on Metacritic. It goes on to, of course, talk about Rotten Tomatoes. It says, yet upon reading the actual reviews themselves, it seems that the critics held far less of a favorable opinion of the film than the above averages could even suggest. Dwayne Johnson is at his most uninteresting as an ancient Egyptian bodybuilder who learns that sarcasm is cool and that torture and murder is not. Pierce Brosnan appears as a Doctor Strange knockoff called Dr. Fate, and the whole thing is buttressed by some ugly political revisionism. Now, Black Adam, in my opinion, was a solid movie. I personally think the 90%'s a little high, but it is a solid 80 to an 85 for me. Of course, the end credit scene is my favorite part because, of course, spoiler alert, it shows Henry Cavill returning as Superman, but I did really like all of the characters thrown into it. Like Dr. Fate, he was awesome, and the actor they chose was perfect. Clearly, the media saying he's just a Doctor Strange ripoff, this person isn't a fan. They've watched a couple of comic book movies and think they know everything when they don't. They don't actually care about what they're reviewing, they just care about pushing out a piece to monetize. I don't expect every normal moviegoer to know canon, but if you're actually sitting and reviewing it and you're getting paid to review it, yes, you should know everything or close to it. I don't claim to know every DC character in depth, but I know a hell of a lot more than these hacks. Calling him a Doctor Strange knockoff is so freaking insulting. I couldn't believe that they said this. And then it says NPR said, it seems both obvious and inevitable to note that this many years into superhero cinema's ascendancy, novelty comes at a premium. Even so, Black Adam seems perfectly content to pick over the wilted remains of the superhero movie salad bar. I actually felt like this movie was a little bit different than all of the others. I felt like it gave me a different feeling. When I'm watching something like Superman, I instantly think of heroes and he's going to save the day no matter what. But with Black Adam, it was a bit of a wild card. You didn't know where they were going. You didn't know what they were going to do with him, if he was going to be more of a hero, a villain. Of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson typically plays, the good guys. He has played a couple of bad guys. But you didn't really know what to expect from this movie, and I enjoyed it while I watched it, like many other people, besides the critics, of course, and critics are hacks anyway. The New York Times said a dull, listless superhero movie that hits all of the expected touchstones of the genre under the guise of a transgressive new anti-hero story. If, as the credits roll for Black Adam, you're still stuck on wondering what defines a bad hero or a good anti-hero, know that at least the film clarifies one thing: what makes a bad hero movie. Now again, obviously, users and audiences do not agree with these hacks, because right now the score is sitting at a 90% and the all-audience score is a 92. This is with over 25,000 ratings compared to 236 from the critics. Reading just a few reviews, as you can see, as we scroll down, they are all 4 and 5 stars. I mean, pages and pages of people being very impressed with this film. Come on, it's The Rock. What's not to like? A bit long as it drags a bit in the beginning, CG starts to wear thin, but the reveal near the end as to the Black Line story of Black Adam is worth the price of admission. It was a good movie, overhated in my opinion, great action. Dwayne Johnson did a great job as always. It's all in the movie. It was a great must-see. All the characters were fantastic. I mean, nobody has anything bad to say about this movie besides it was a little bit slow, and I do agree that's why I wouldn't give it like a 90 or 100. I felt that the pacing was a bit off, but I felt overall it was a very solid movie. I do not regret watching it. And clearly not a lot of other people do either. So someone gave it a 3-star and said, I feel like they tried to pack so much into a short amount of movie. Felt like the Justice League, not enough progression, action was pretty good. I also can agree with this. They did try to shove a lot of information at us in a very short time. That's the problem with movies that introduce multiple characters, is that the pacing is typically off. Unless you are just fantastic, have fantastic ideas, everything that you've laid out is perfect, it is harder to make a movie with multiple characters and, not have it be a little bit overwhelming. But again, the movie was pretty freaking fantastic. It was awesome, a lot of action, a thrill ride, great movie, story-wise, effects, love the after credits reveal. As you can see, users are eating this movie up, and the media is just proving how awful they are, how out of touch they are, and how just overall irrelevant they are. This is why I do not really trust critics. I play games myself, I watch movies myself, I judge things myself, because this is what happens. Audiences love things and critics pan them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.